Okay, I'm Will Woods, and I'm with Timberwood Scale Models. Um, it's on YouTube, something I started a couple of weeks ago. And this series, what I'm doing now, is taking a look at builds that I've done probably since 2016, which is when I retired from my work um, and got back into scale model building. um, which I probably started in 1965, and it was kind of on and off due to life circumstances going on. So by 2016 is when I got really into it. Um, so what happened was, okay, so we're going to take a look at a Bristol Beaufighter. Part of, for me, scale model building is reading. Probably the reason I got into scale modeling was from a book called Reach for the Sky. It was a story of a legless fighter pilot by the name of Douglas Bader and his exploits as being a fighter pilot and a prisoner of war, strangely enough, with no legs. Amazing story. There's also huge Canadian content in there. And that's a subject for later on because I've actually got a couple of his aircraft that are built, Spitfires. But something that I stumbled upon a number of years back would be uh, this book, The Strike Wings, Special Anti-Shipping Squadrons, 1942 to 45. It's by Roy Connors Nesbitt. An amazing read. Really enjoyed it. And it's also just full of Canadian content in there also. So the Royal Canadian Air Force's active role in anti-shipping. So what it is a part of Coastal Command, which was responsible, obviously, for rescuing downed pilots, but also for the anti-shipping. They did a lot of that. So as a result of reading this book, it really tweaked my interest. Again, I was heavy into fighter aircraft, and that was a major thing as a youth, and even still today, growing up, it sort of gets my imagination wandering when I think of these things. Um, so I strongly recommend you get this book, Roy Connors. Um, Excellent book, and strongly recommend it. So, what we're going to talk about, though, today's subject is the Airfix's 1/72nd scale. Airfix's 1/72nd scale. Um, Bristol Beaufighter TFX. So it's Bristol Beaufighter Torpedo Fighter Mark 10 is what we're talking about. And the one that I decided to build out of here would be this beast here. And it's a Royal Canadian Air Force aircraft that was, let me just get this straight, uh, number 404 Squadron, Royal Canadian Air Force, stationed at Royal Air Force Davidstow, Cornwall, England, in June of 1944. So that's why you would have these invasion stripes, because it would have been after D-Day is when they started using that as recognition. Hey, don't shoot me down. I'm on your side. So this is the kit itself. Super build. Lot of fun. The invasion stripes, which I discovered isn't that easy to do, um, although it is fun. And when it's done, it looks great. So it was a lot of fun doing that. It was something kind of new to me. When I initially looked at it, I thought, well, how difficult could that be? So I did the masking and spraying, and it was, yeah, it's something new, something that's fun. And then I did more research into the invasion stripes, which is pretty funny when you see pictures. And I worked so hard on masking and taping and making sure everything was straight and even. And then you get pictures of some guy with a pail and a slop brush, more or less, painting on these stripes. And I'm thinking, I'm busting my head off here, driving me crazy trying to get these things lined up. And here, originally, what it was, just some guy with a slop pail and throwing on some paint. Um, Obviously, it was an emergency. It had to be done fairly quickly, so it was an important part of the whole deal. So the problems I had for me was the engine cowl. It comes in, I believe, 3 parts, and you really have to line them up. And I've put 2 of these together. The other one will be a subject for another day. Uh, didn't have the invasion stripes, but again, I had trouble with the engine cowl. So it took me a little bit, I think, to get it right. So other than that, there were no other issues. I used Tamiya paints all the way around. Decals are right out of the box. And yeah, so I worked on the kit, started at June 30th, 2022, and I was able to finish it by September 27th, 2022. So that's where that is at. And here it is, kind of upside down. As you can see, I did some weathering on it. I may switch this light on just to see how that's going to work. How that'll work. Yeah, that probably makes it a little better. You can see some of the detail on the engine and some of the weathering. So it was a learning curve for me, a lot of fun. What interested me also was something I'd never seen, is they have a decal here for, when I looked at it originally, I thought, well, what the heck is that? And what it is it would have had some battle damage or some damage of some kind. So they mudded it up or taped it up or whatever the heck it is and sent her back out again. So that to me is pretty amazing. The mechanics, the ground crew, amazing people, do a lot of work. And that even shifts to today. When you take a look at something like the Royal Canadian Air Force and the Snowbirds, these are aircraft from the 1960s and they're still flying. So the ground crews are pretty amazing. And let me tell you, there'd be no new parts to get. They have to manufacture them on their own in the hangar, plug away, do those kinds of things. So they're amazing people. So that's my kit. That's my Bristol Beaufighter Mark 10 torpedo fighter bomber. And it did the anti-shipping, an important part of the war. And it was a great build. And yeah, so I'm, again, Will Woods with Timber Scale Models. If you like it, give it the big thumbs up. And also, I have a grand total of, well, let me see here, 8 people as of this morning that have subscribed to the channel. And I don't think they're all relatives. So if you so desire and want to keep track of what's going on, subscribe. Give me a like also. And that's the story.